Man, look, press the free like button if you didn't want the Usos to break up just to prolong this Bloodline storyline. Look, man, this video should be over 100 likes based off that fact. Nobody asked for this. Nobody wanted Jimmy and Jay to break up. During the era of 02 to 04, when it came to the WWF, they were under a new regime. They were under a new era. It was no longer the Attitude Era. They were trying to figure out, okay, what's next for this current era, because there's no more Stone Cold Steve Austin and there's no more Rock as a full-time wrestler. So the whole entire company was under a new transition. Who will be the next face of the company? It was similar to the New Generation era. That same era where they were trying to build, okay, who's the next guy? Is it Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Psycho Sid, Diesel? They were trying to move away from the cartoon era. That was the Hogans, the Warriors, the Savages. So they were under a new transition. So the audience had to get used to the guys that they were pushing. And they had to live with it because there was no more Savage or Hogan or Andre. Same thing with the 02 and 04 era. I would call it the get the F out era, right? I felt like Triple H, to me, he did a great job. He was a full-time wrestler and he was there every week. And he was in great storylines. He was a great promo, great talker. Everything didn't seem repetitive. And at the end of the day, he was putting guys over. Guys were getting elevated. Keep in mind, this was a young Batista. This was a young Orton. He was not the Viper yet. So when it came to Raw, all they had was Triple H to lean on when it came to star power. Because Taker was trying to be a biker, and I think Kane was bald, maybe, I think. So everything was under a new transition. They were trying to push guys from WCW. They were trying to push guys from ECW. So it was a new entire roster. All they had left was Triple H. So I feel like Triple H gets too much blame for that era. Because Rob Van Dam, Jeff Hardy, Edge, those guys were mid-carders. They were mid-carders trying to get elevated. So people lose track of that. Those guys were not icons. Those guys were not icons yet. Jeff Hardy, they was trying to push him as a singles guy, like on and off, but he wasn't that guy as we know today. So Triple H was surrounded by mid-card guys that went on to be Hall of Famers. That's the difference between him and Roman Reigns. Every guy that he wrestled got elevated. They became future Hall of Famers. Randy Orton, Rob Van Dam, Booker T. See, people say, oh, Triple H, did he have to beat Booker T at WrestleMania? Well, at the end of the day, Booker T is in the Hall of Fame. He went on to be a world champion. At the end of the day, every guy that Triple H got involved with got elevated. Even Scott Steiner, to a degree. What hurt Scott Steiner was Scott Steiner, not Triple H. Triple H tried his best to put him over, but Scott Steiner had his issues. That was not a Triple H problem. Same thing with Goldberg. That was a Goldberg problem, not a Triple H problem. Every guy that Triple H tried to wrestle, he tried to put them over. Hell, he put over Shelton Benjamin, who he went on to become a star himself. So do you see a pattern? He put over Dave Batista. Do you see a pattern? He was elevating guys. Roman Reigns is not elevating nobody who has gotten elevated in this 3-year span. This has been, I would call his opponents nothing more than a glorified circle jerk that we gotta put over Roman Reigns and make him look strong. Hell, let's book Edge and Roman Reigns. Edge's job was to make him look good. Let's book Dan Bryan and Roman. His job was to make Roman look good. Let's book Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. Did Roman make him look good? No. Who has he elevated? All I'm seeing are guys being hired to make him look strong, to make him look dominant. Oh, Roman has on his resume Brock, Edge, Roman, Seth. See, it's nothing more than a glorified circle jerk. Because all I see are guys that have big names who he beat. So by that logic, who has he elevated? I'm seeing guys that they had to elevate him. That's the key points. He's not elevating nobody, but they are elevating him. What part of that don't you understand? When he beat Demon Balor, have we looked at Demon Balor the same ever since? Where did Finn Balor go after that? Finn Balor, he had to turn heel. Kevin Owens has faced Roman Reigns for the world title multiple times. What good has that done for his career? He went back to the mid-card multiple times. He went on to feud with Sami Zayn. He went on to be paired up with Alpha Academy for a short time period. He went on to wrestle Zeke. So how can you go from fighting Roman Reigns in the main event to wrestling Sami Zayn? He went from Roman to wrestling Zeke, who's no longer here anymore. Who has Roman Reigns elevated? Nobody. That's why I would take the Triple H Reign of Terror any day of the week. Triple H was trying to give back to other wrestlers, and now they became Hall of Famers. Jeff Hardy, multiple guys that he wrestled, went on to become big-time main event Hall of Famers. So before you talk shit about the Triple H Reign of Terror, do your fucking research. He made everybody look good who we got in the ring with. That was his job. His job was not for his opponent to make him look good. No, it was the other way around. Why? Because Triple H had power. Triple H was bulletproof. He didn't care if he didn't look strong in the goddamn ring. He had power. He was fucking bulletproof. His job was to elevate his opponents, which he did. Because look at Dave Bautista. Where is he at now? Look at Randy Orton. Where is he at? I rest my case. I'm just going off on all the opponents that Roman has faced that he should have elevated. Matt Riddle, he is a prime example. Matt Riddle was an up-and-coming guy that Randy Orton tried to put over. At one point, Matt Riddle was very, very popular. He hasn't been the same ever since he lost to Roman Reigns. There's a pattern. When you lose to Roman Reigns, you don't recover. It takes maybe a year or 2 years to recover. Cody Rhodes got lucky because his job was not to make Roman Reigns look good. His job was to make us believe he can beat Roman. But before his past opponents, look at Brock Lesnar. Brock's job was to make Roman look strong. Big E, his job was to make Roman look strong and dominant. Drew Mack, he is 0-3 against Roman Reigns. Let that sink in. Has Drew Mack recovered? Nope. Now Drew Mack is getting beat clean by Gunther Zaring General. So what has Roman Reigns done? Did he elevate Drew Mack? Of course not. Do you see a pattern? Nobody is getting elevated. They are getting buried. Cody Rhodes got lucky. Where is Sami Zayn? Did Roman make him look good? Not really, because Sami Zayn went back to that mid card. Every guy that Roman beats, they go back to where they were. And we forget about them. How come you are not trying to pick this apart? See, under the Triple H era, like I said, every guy that was on that Raw roster, they were looked at as fucking up-and-comers. Not guys who had names, but guys that were trying to build up their names. That Triple H put over. Now, do you see what I'm trying to say? I watched that match with him and Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam looked like $1 million. See, the problem with Roman Reigns matches, he makes his opponent look stupid to a point where the audience don't take that guy seriously moving forward. There's something called dumb babyface syndrome. Every opponent that Roman Reigns faces, he makes them look bad and he gives them dumb babyface syndrome. In terms of, why are you paying more attention to the referee and not Roman, right? That's what I mean. Why are you focused on the Usos more than Roman, right? He makes his opponent look stupid to a point where, bruh, we don't respect you. Why are you so distracted by the fucking Usos more than Roman, who is the world champion, right? So, he's not elevating nobody. Tell me I'm lying. I dare you. Tell me I'm lying. It's been 3 years. Has he elevated anybody to being a fucking main eventer or at least a upper mid-card guy? At least. Nobody. How about Jey Uso? Nope. How about fucking Montez Ford? Nope. How about Ray? Nope. Nobody has been looked at as a guy where it's like, okay, I see him being a possible future world champion. Nope. Now, let's compare feuds. All of Triple H's feuds were great. Every guy he had a promo battle with was great TV. Dude, Roman hasn't had not one great promo battle. His last great promo battle was against John Cena, which I think that don't count, bro. It's John Cena, okay? Like I said, John Cena, his job was to make Roman look good at SummerSlam. That's everybody's job. We have to make Roman look good. Roman don't give a damn about anybody else. Dude, this whole Bloodline storyline is a waste of time. Now they broke up the Usos. What was the point of that? Why? To fucking prolong this feud with the Usos and Roman and shit, because now Roman might go away until fucking Survivor Series. It's like, man, it's like, what are we doing? Because we all know the Usos will get back together by next year. Most likely, their dad will come back to TV and bring them together. So it's like, what's the point? The Usos are a tag team. They're not singles guys. They are not Edge and Christian. That's a real tag team. Like, they are like the Dudley Boys. They are better as a team more than separated. So this makes no sense. Like I said, this is a domino effect. Roman should have lost to Cody Rhodes. Then we wouldn't be in this situation. We wouldn't see Jay and Jimmy fighting. Like I said, Cody Rhodes losing, that changed everything. That was a huge domino effect. So, if we are comparing Triple H and Roman Reigns, this might go down as the worst, most overrated title reign in the history of pro wrestling. Every match is repetitive. Every match, somebody has to interfere. Every match, there's a fucking ref bump. All his wins are just flukes. It's so boring. Triple H, he was carrying Raw because there was no more Stone Cold, no more Rock full time. It was just him. So I give him tons of credit. Like I said, he was working with young talent that went on to become Hall of Famers. So, like I said, keep that in mind. Randy Orton was not the Viper yet. When it came to Dave Bautista, he was not the Animal yet. That's the main difference. So you can't blame Triple H for what happened back in 02 to 04. It's like, to me, that was a great title reign. It's like, yeah, his promos can be a little bit drawn out, but he was a great promo. And when I was watching Raw in that era, it's like, man, he was their only top main eventer. Because when it came to Chris Jericho, he was kind of on the decline at that time. When it came to Chris Benoit, he was seen as, to me, Chris Benoit, he was like the Daniel Bryan of that era, to me. Triple H, he put over Chris Benoit. So I'm just naming names of people Triple H made look good, who were not stars at that time. Roman Reigns, he is facing legends and stars and guys who are seen as guys in the upper mid-card, but when he beats them, they go back to doing what they was doing before. They don't get elevated. How can Matt Riddle go from facing Roman Reigns for the world title to going back as a mid-card guy, doing nothing? That's insane. He went from facing Roman to teaming up with Elias. So give me facts. Give me a name. Who has Roman Reigns gave the rub to? Nobody. He has given nobody the rub. Dude, Triple H was losing matches during the Reign of Terror, which means he was trying to make other guys look good. Triple H was not selfish. Yes, I do feel like Booker T should have beaten him, but that shit gave Triple H more heat that he beat him. So that was a great time. That was a great era. That was a great run. It's like, bruh, I've seen worser title reigns than Triple H. Triple H was in a time where everybody was on the decline, or they were young and they weren't ready to be a top guy yet. So you have to take that into consideration. He was the only guy on Raw at that time that mattered. Randy Orton was not that guy yet. Dave was not that guy. Let's talk about freaking Eddie G. He was a mid-carder at that time. Yes, facts. When it came to Eddie G, he was a mid-carder. Chris Benoit was a mid-carder. Kane was a mid-carder at that time too. Facts. All they had was just Triple H, really. So put some respect on the Reign of Terror. I think that his reign was a top 5 reign of all time. It's just like people don't like him as a person. I don't know why, but that's why people shit on his reign. But to me, that was one of the best reigns of all time, based on the fucking circumstances. there was no more Stone Cold and fucking Rock as full-time guys anymore. So it was all Triple H. What was he supposed to do with what he was working with? When it comes to Roman Reigns, he is selfish. He makes his opponent look like jackasses. That's why nobody gets elevated. That's the problem. Now I'm hearing he was the one that beat Cody Rhodes. It was his idea and Paul Heyman's idea for him to keep the title at WrestleMania. It was not Triple H. It was not Vince. That's what I'm hearing. So that goes to my statements as facts. Roman Reigns is very, very selfish. He wasn't ready to get beaten by Cody Rhodes. And I knew that was a fact. Now there's reports that yes, that was true. Roman was not ready to get beaten by Cody Rhodes. Now look where we're at. The Usos are broken up because of that fucking fact. So to put an end to this, Triple H had a better run than Roman Reigns. That's it, I'm done.